How's it going, everyone? Sean here from Raw Technique Studios. Today I'm going to show you how to get your recording session sent over to a mixing engineer and how to send files for mastering as well to a mastering engineer. On my website, rawtechniquestudios.com, if you click on online mixing, it'll take you to my page over here, and if you come down, you'll see there's a link on how to send your files. So this is a step-by-step on how to send a Pro Tools session, as well as all other DAWs, how to send the track outs. But I want to show you how to do it from scratch right now. So I'm going to flip over to Pro Tools. Now, say this is the session that you want sent over to have a mixing engineer work on it, whether it's me or somebody else. If they work with Pro Tools, then you'll just simply send your session like this. You'll go to File, Save Copy In. Make sure you check this box right here that says Audio Files. That's going to include all of the audio in there. If you send just the session, whether it's a PTX file or a PTF file, depending on what version of Pro Tools you're on, that's simply just going to be the session file. That's all the information, where things go and where the plugins apply and everything like that, but it has none of the audio in there. So you want to include the audio files, and that's going to put all of the audio in one folder, which you'll send along with your session. So with your bit depth and your sample rate and your audio, simply leave it at whatever you recorded at. So if you recorded WAV files at 44.1 and 24-bit, then leave it at that. Don't do any of the converting yourself. That's going to get done at the end during the mastering phase. If your mixing engineer is also doing the mastering, then your mixing engineer will do the converting for you. So go ahead and press OK. Then just go ahead and name it and save it. So it's going to process all of the audio, put it all into a folder for you. Alright, so just finished. It's right here. You'll see an audio files folder with all of your audio in it. And then you'll see the PTX file or PTF if you're on Pro Tools version 9 or below. So what you'll do is go ahead and zip this file or compress it. Now that you have the file in a single folder, you'll notice that it's a very large file. So this one, it's 518 megabytes. A normal email just won't be able to hold that much. Those are usually limited to about 25 megabytes or so. So for large files, I recommend WeTransfer. So you'll head over to WeTransfer.com. I'm just going to say no thanks on this. Go ahead and click Add Your Files. Select the folder that you just compressed. Press Choose. So once that goes in like that, then go ahead and click right here. And then click on Get Transfer Link, and then click Get Link. So this will process. It just takes a couple minutes depending on how large the file is. Then it'll provide a link that you can send to your engineer, who will be able to download it just from a standard email. Alright, so I got my link. I'm going to go ahead and just copy this right here. And then you could either email it to your engineer, or for me, for example, on my website, if you go to Online Mixing and you scroll down, you'll see a section titled Send Your Files. You enter your email here. Enter your artist name, which service you want. Is it mixing, mastering, beat mixing and mastering? And then this is where you're going to paste your link. So you just paste your link right there, any details that you want, and press submit. So that'll come to me in an email. I'll be able to download everything and then email you back. If you're just sending to somebody over a normal email, then you just simply paste that link for them, and they'll be able to download all your files just from that link right there. So say you don't use Pro Tools, but the mixing engineer that you're going to be working with does use Pro Tools. Well, you could just simply make track outs and send it to them. Say they use Logic and you use PreSonus, or they use Reason and you use Ableton. If you guys use different DAWs, one of the best ways is to send the track outs. So the first thing I notice is I'm clipping on some of the files. I just turned them up a little bit too loud. So I'm going to just back these off because I know the files themselves, the recordings aren't clipped. It's just the mix was a little bit too hot. So I'm going to grab one of these tracks here, select all the way over by holding Shift, and then just drag them down, create some headroom here. Okay, so that brought my levels down, and now I'm not clipping the signal. So you want to make sure you're not sending your engineer clipped music. That's going to be a problem for them. They're just going to have flatline stuff, which has extra distortion or saturation, which you don't want in your mix. All right, so now that that's taken care of, I'm going to go up to Song and then Export Stem. For your format, just leave it as you did your recording. If you recorded in 24-bit 44.1K, then leave it like that. If you recorded in 32-bit float with 96K, then leave it at that. Whatever you recorded in, just leave it as is. And then under Export Range, depending on your DAW, it'll be a little bit different. But for this one, I'm doing between the song start and end markers. That's how I set it up. And then under Options, I'm preserving my mono tracks. So I want my mono tracks to stay mono, not to be exported as stereo. And then my stereo tracks will just stay stereo. Everything else I don't select, and I go ahead and press OK. And it's going to export all of my track outs. Okay, so those exported right there. Okay, so I could go ahead and locate those track outs, and I'm going to compress that into a zip file. So once you have that, you could go ahead and upload that on WeTransfer, get that link, and follow the same steps to send it over to your mixing engineer. Now let's take a look at how you would send a file for mastering. Whether you're sending it to me or somebody else, this is usually how it's done. It's just sent as a WAV file. Some mastering engineers will work with stems, but most just use 2 tracks. So what you would do is select your whole song file. Once you have it all mixed and everything's done, go ahead and do File, Bounce to Disk, and you're going to leave everything as is. They'll do the conversion for you. Don't convert your bit depth, don't convert your sample rate, just leave everything as it was mixed because your mastering engineer is going to do the final conversion. Alright, so I don't need an MP3, it's going to be a high quality WAV. I'm going to leave all my settings as they are for the mix session, and then you can just name it whatever you want. Mine's test for mastering. And then go ahead and bounce it down. So once you have your WAV file bounced down, you're ready to send it out for mastering. You're going to go ahead to WeTransfer.com, grab that file and just drag it on over to here. And go ahead and press Get Link. Alright, once it's done, go ahead and press Copy Link. And for me, you would go to rawtechniquestudios.com, click on Online Mixing, scroll down, and send your files through this form. You'll go ahead and paste your link right here into the link to download your files section. Put your email, your name, service wanted. For this, it would just be for mastering, and then any project details or information that you'd like me to include. So those are the steps that I recommend to people who want to send me music for mixing or mastering. If you're looking to have me mix or master your music, go over to rawtechniquestudios.com and you can submit your music through my form. I look forward to working with you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.